Well, it's Monday. Sir Owen Disney here, and we're going to talk a little NXT and Smackdown. So, of course, these are the shows that are right before it goes live on the network. On February 27th, the first NXT pay-per-view, which is going to be called Arrival, will be coming your way. And this is basically the last couple of weeks to introduce the crowd to the NXT superstars. Now, if you're not watching NXT, the WWE audience, which I'm sure you're a part of if you're watching this video, you are getting very slowly introduced to two superstars. Number one is the Bulgarian brute, Alexander Rusev, and the other one is the bubble princess herself, Emma. Well, obviously, I'm a big Emma supporter, and Rusev was in the Royal Rumble, and he did some damage, and now he's doing weekly vignettes to introduce him to the audience, so that makes total sense. Well, he starts off this show because there was a match with Rusev and Xavier Woods, and after the match was over, Sin Cara runs out of nowhere for the save, and that leads up to this match, which we get to open off the show. It's Sin Cara against Alexander Rusev, of course, with Lana at ringside. So, Sin Cara, who I've been calling on the channel a while, Unicara, well, it's Unico under the mask. No need to really say that any longer, given the fact that Mystico is no longer working for the company. So, because of that fact, he can go back to being Sin Cara until they take off the mask and Mystico decides he wants to sue the WWE for his gimmick trademark, and then Sin Cara as a gimmick is done, and Unico will go back. Now, he goes up top, and he goes for a moonsault, which misses by a mile. It was a grazing blow, we'll go with that. 1-2 and a kick out, comes off the ropes, springboard off the middle ropes, and gets caught with a big drop kick. Yes, a drop kick by Rusev. 1 count only. Short arm in the Muay Thai kick, 1 count only, and a knee lift and 2 falling headbutts. Goes on the opposite side. This is working on the shoulder, mind you. Goes on the opposite side and locks on an arm bar, still working on the arms. Charges in, catches the back elbow, charges in, and Sin Cara gets the boot up. Tornado DDT, comes off the ropes, and the 180 flying body press off the middle rope, 1-2, and a kick out. Goes for the satellite head scissors takeover. Whip in reversed, handspring back elbow off the ropes, and Rusev is in trouble. 1-2, and Rusev kicks out. Boot in the midsection, charges in, catches the boot up yet again. He goes up on the shoulders, and Rusev just tosses him down like yesterday's garbage. Locks on the accolade, and there's the tap out. So Alexander Rusev wins the match. And then after the match is over, he locks on the accolade yet again. The referees try to pull him off. And an interesting comment was made. It was made a comment saying that Tensai, who's on commentary on NXT now, and he's great actually at commentary. I really appreciate his commentary. It's really good. It's very insightful given the fact that he's a former wrestler. And I say that, I guess, because that's pretty much what he wants to do. I guess Tensai is now Taz of WWE because he doesn't want to wrestle anymore. He wants to be a commentator. Now, I know Taz can't wrestle anymore. I don't think Tensai had a career-ending injury. Nothing I heard about. I think he just wants to do commentary now. Not take bumps to make the same paycheck? Wise move, Mr. Bloom. So, basically, Tensai says, stop it. And they question him. I think it's Byron Saxon that questions him about it. And he's like, well, why don't you do something about it? And he's like, oh, I don't know about that. This tells me right now they're transitioning WWE Universe to reference Tensai as a former wrestler and not a wrestler currently. Because if you thought that Tensai would have backed down from Rusev back in the day, probably wouldn't have happened. We've had a really good program between the two. I think that actually would have worked. Tensai and Rusev, that would have been great and have been a tremendous rub to go over on Tensai, even though sadly, after the Tons of Funk debacle, going over Tensai is not as big of a deal as it once was. This guy just used to beat John Cena, and they pushed him as a main event heel, and then things just fell off the road. Now, he doesn't have to take bumps, he still makes the same paycheck, so yeah, everybody wins. Speaking of Emma, which we will, because I mentioned Rusev, and I'm going to talk about Emma. Emma's going to face off against my least favorite, wrestling-wise, WWE diva, Alicia Fox. So Foxy with a drop kick and whip in, and she charges in. She goes chest first to the buckle. Emma locks in the dilemma. She escapes and hits her Northern Light suplex 1-2 and a kick out. Locks on the chin lock and an elbow by Emma, and she punches her way out. Gets caught with a knee lift. Whip in and a spring off the bottom rope into a tip up. And nobody home. Fox rolls her up 1 count only, misses the charge, and Emma Sandwich in the corner. Excuse me, for those of you that don't know what an Emma Sandwich is, it's basically a running crossbody in the corner into an opponent in the seated position. So she hits the slingshot straight to the canvas, locks in the Emma lock, and that's the tap out. She gets on the mic and she says she wants to send her best wishes to Paige on a speedy recovery. They're finally mentioning the fact that Paige is recovering from whatever it is. Apparently, I've heard it's personal issues, but I don't think it's anything involved with wrestling at all. I think it's just something that has to do with her personal life. But I can't throw stones at glass houses because I don't know exactly. I'm just speculating based upon the fact that they're not mentioning anything about an injury. They're just saying she has issues. So, yes, speedy recovery to Paige. She says once she's recovered, she's going to be officially challenging her for the NXT Women's Championship. So, yeah, Emma's going to be the next Women's Champion. I don't have an issue with that. So, Sasha Banks comes in, and she charges, and, of course, she gets sent to the floor. Fez press on Summer Rae, which hits the ring, and Alicia Fox, not part of the BFFs, but she still attacks anyway. And the final member of the BFFs attacks when Charlotte gets in the ring. There's a 3-way beatdown, and Natalya and Bayley make the save. So Sasha Banks and Charlotte clear the ring, and at some point Alicia Fox clears the ring as well. Summer Rae left all by her lonesome. A hair mare by Emma, and Summer goes to the floor. So I talked about that 6-diva tag team match that I wanted to see down the line with the BFFs against Paige, Emma, and Bayley. I think that's going to happen, but replace Paige with Natalya, and I don't have an issue with that because I think it'd work really well. And again, we're building Emma slowly but surely. She's going to be feuding with Summer Rae on SmackDown before too long, if she hasn't already started. She's going to be having matches with Summer Rae before too long. And I think a good feud of Santino and Emma against Summer Rae and Fandango would be a great idea, but we have to wait till Santino's clear. I don't think he's clear yet. I'm pretty sure he's not. So, last week, of course, Sylvester Lefort trying to find a new charge. Mason Ryan comes in, he gets all giddy, he's like, Mason, you're going to be, you're applying to be my new member of the Fighting Legionnaires? And he's like, yeah, well, how about if you beat me next week, I'll join your group. So we get this match. And Sylvester Lefort is, he's in great shape for a manager. I'm not going to lie, he really is. And I'm hoping they actually do something with him as a active competitor. I know he can wrestle, and I know he does. He hasn't debuted as a wrestler in an actual match, other than this, 30-second squash on NXT this week, on television yet. But once he does, people will learn that he's actually something to be dealt with. Excuse me. So this match is very short. He's facing Mason Ryan, of course. Charges in. He gets the boot. Knee lift, comes off the ropes. Catches him over the shoulder and basically snake eyes him off the top rope, hot shot style. Big boot, Cobra Clutch slam, done the party. So yeah, once again, just storyline continuity. Sylvester Lefort later on in the show says, I'm going to get my revenge one way or another, which means that Sawyer Fulton is going to attack Mason Ryan and become the new charge of Sylvester Lefort. I am pretty positive that's going to happen. So Aiden English comes out, and he says the reason he threatened Enzo Amore was because Enzo rolled over his foot with his wheelchair. He sings a version of O Canada and says, I hope I make you cry. This is leading up to his match tonight against Tyson Kidd. And that's our next contest of the evening. So Aiden sings a version of Mr. Sandman, and it's funny, as always. We go to the match. Tyson with a monkey flip, charges in, and crossbody misses. He goes into the ropes. 3 forearms, falling forearms. 1 count only, Tyson kicks out. Backdrop suplex, 1-2, again, Tyson kicks out. A chin lock, with the arm trapped as well. A really nice maneuver from Aiden English. And backdrop suplex yet again. This time Tyson floats over, lands on his feet, charges in, catches the back elbow, charges in, catches a snap rana off the top into the turnbuckle. So he catches with a spinning back kick, drop kick to the side of the head, 1-2, and a kick out. Whip in reverse, charges in, catches the knee on the ring apron. High vertical suplex by Aiden English, 1-2, and Tyson kicks out. Big Cass comes out to take the beret and the scarf. He wraps the scarf around his neck, throws the beret over his head, and the fans are popping for it. And this is a distraction long enough for Tyson to go up top, hit the no kidding, which is the flying guillotine or the blockbuster, and that's all she wrote. The storyline between Colin Cassidy and Aiden English does continue here on NXT. So it's okay. I think once Enzo Amore is completely recovered, it's going to be a while, but once Enzo Amore is officially recovered, I think this is going to build to something too. A tag team feud with Aiden English and someone else. I don't know exactly who I can see teaming with Aiden English at this point, but I think there's somebody in mind. You know, if you want to talk about a singing gimmick, the only thing that comes to mind is somebody local, actually. Somebody I know a little bit about, and that's the American Idol, Dirk Extreme. So yeah, I'll throw that out there. WWE, sign Dirk Extreme and tag teaming with Aiden English in NXT. I'm sure he'd appreciate the paycheck. And a lot of the fans and a lot of his friends that are my friends too would appreciate seeing him on television. Anyway, now that I put over an indie worker, I'm going to say it actually makes sense to me. I think if you're going to do the singing gimmick, you do that. Or if you really want to, you can bring Jillian Hall back to the main roster slowly but surely. But put her on NXT with Aiden English and let them do the singing gimmick together. I think that might work too. Kind of like, you know how, I gotta remember off the top of my head how this works. Like, they'd be like a duet, kind of like a Captain and Tennille type thing. That'd be interesting. Something different, something very different we haven't seen before. So we get our main event, Adrian Neville taking on his former NXT Tag Team Championship partner, Corey Graves. Of course, this is all about building Neville for his clash with Bo Dallas for the NXT Championship on February 27th at NXT Arrival. And that's exactly what this match was. So we go midway through the match here, and 5 stiff elbows from Corey Graves, steps on the throat, and makes a cover 1-2. Neville kicks out, puts his foot on the bottom rope, and he dive bombs it. He goes for a second time, and he gets countered into a roll-up, 1-2, and a kick out, and Corey Graves stops any momentum with a drop kick straight to the kneecap, 1-2, and a kick out. Basically, this was all about working the knee of Adrian Neville, which he injured earlier on in the match. Dragon screw leg whip and 1-2 and a kick out. Not really, I don't recall ever seeing a dragon screw leg whip into a pin attempt before, but that was interesting. So he drops the knee on the knee and he pounds away DDT to the kneecap, 1-2 and a kick out. He pulls back on the knee, shoulders on the canvas, 1 count only. Neville breaks it with 2 straight heels to the back, literally driving the heel into the upper back twice. Corey catches him with a fireman's carry, flip through into a backbreaker, kind of like Wasteland into a backbreaker, basically, if you want to play at home, based upon what I'm trying to say. Makes a cover 1-2 and a kick out, makes another cover 1-2 and a kick out, third cover, and still kicks out. So he tosses him to the floor because he's frustrated. He goes for a pile driver on the floor, he gets backdropped to the floor, and Neville comes in, Corey Graves rolls in, charges in, gets the boot up, ducks the right hand, 3 stiff forearms, and an elbow. Goes to the middle turnbuckle for the middle rope missile dropkick, but he's landed on the bad knee. Still makes a cover 1-2, Graves kicks out. A boot to the knee, and his diving clip. Neville gets on the ring apron and catches him with a high kick, and he goes up top. Red arrow, 1-2-3. Here comes Bo Dallas. He comes out, takes off his jacket, walks with a purpose, like he's not smiling or anything. He just walks with a purpose. He's stoic, he's straight-faced, he's ready for battle. And here comes Triple H. He says that on February 27th, at NXT Arrival, on the WWE Network, live from Full Sail University, for the first time in NXT history, Bo Dallas will defend the NXT Championship against Adrian Neville in the first ever ladder match. And that's how we go home. Okay. Well, excuse me. More introduction, Alexander Rusev beating Sin Cara, a WWE superstar. More introduction to Emma beating Alicia Fox, a WWE diva. And of course, this allowed for the setup for the 6 Diva tag match we're going to get down the line. Sylvester Lefort defeated in quick order by Mason Ryan. Val's Revenge, this means Sawyer Fulton's going to attack Mason Ryan. Or somebody I'm not thinking of. I'd say Scott Dawson, given the fact he didn't have a broken leg right now. Aiden English ends up losing to Tyson Kidd because of the interference of Big Cass, not really doing anything, just distracting him by putting on his beret and his scarf. So, basically, that's going to continue that feud. Adrian Neville beats Corey Graves, where he basically had to come from behind the whole time, and he ends up not getting attacked by Bo Dallas, but before Bo Dallas can do anything, Triple H comes out and makes the match a ladder match. So we're leading towards Adrian Neville taking the NXT Championship from Bo Dallas in the ladder match on NXT Arrival, and I almost guarantee that to be true. It was okay. It was basically just a story. It was storyline. It was kind of an NXT. It was kind of there. Nothing really incredible match-wise. The main event was pretty good. And Tyson and Aiden English, if they would have had about 5-10 more minutes, it would have been really good. What they had was pretty good for what it was. So there's always that. Now, before I talk about SmackDown, I'm going to say that the Sky Sports version of SmackDown that I watched on YouTube, number 1, happily eliminates commercials. Number 2, it airs everything completely out of order. What I mean is everything that I read on the recap on 4-in-1 Mania, like I normally do before I start reviewing this, yeah, it's completely out of that order. So I'm going to tell you the order that I saw the matches in. Opening contest, according to this video, was The Shield, this time being the United States Champion's longest reigning champion in WWE currently, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns taking on the unique tag team of former feuding friends, turned rivals, then friends, then rivals, and now back to tag team again, the show-off Dolph Ziggler and Kofi Kingston. So, yeah. Let's talk about this match, shall we? We go midway through the match like we do here on Pop, and Kofi gets planted with a butterfly suplex from Ambrose, the chin lock with a knee in the lower back like he likes to do so well. Comes off the ropes, Ambrose with a follow-up knee, and he puts him on the buckle, climbs up, goes for the double underhook superplex, punch off, and a headbutt, knocks Dean Ambrose off, flying body press on the United States Champion, and Kofi goes to make the tag to Dolph, and he gets cut off, boot in, duck, and a weird spin kick by Kofi, tagging to Roman Reigns, hot tag to Dolph, ducks the clothesline, and high cross body, Dolph with the dropkick when Roman gets back up, charging splash in the corner, 9-punch, reverse neck breaker, comes off the ropes, goes for the name dropper, ducks out of it, catches him with a backdrop into a Uranagi, which is appropriate given the fact that he's related to The Rock. So Ambrose tries for a tag, Roman turns around and says, not this time. Kofi pulls Ambrose off the ring apron, and this allows for Roman to get distracted long enough for Dolph to plant him with the exclamation point DDT. 1-2, Roman kicks out. On the floor, we have Kofi and Ambrose battling. He goes for trouble in paradise. Ambrose ducks out of the way and sends him hard into the barricade. Back in ring action, zigzag attempt by Dolph. He gets swatted off like a fly, and bam! Superman punch. Gets in the corner, spears Dolph out of his boots, 1, 2, 3, and the match is over. Now, after the match is over, the Wyatt family, of course, are on the Tron. So, Bray says, "Look at y'all, bickering like children, consumed with pride, beating your chests at one another, trying to see who in the Shield has the sharpest teeth. Tisk, 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 fools. They believe me to be a facade, a joke. No, if you could only see the monster that lives behind my eyes, then you'd realize how real I am." Harper says, "Those that deny us, you will be the first ones to burn. Follow the buzzards." Yet again, these very awesome promos from Bray Wyatt setting up this collision between the Shield and the Wyatt family at the Elimination Chamber, and it's going to be glorious. I think this is where the Shield starts to break away. This may not be the breakup of the Shield, but this will really start the breakup of the Shield. Wyatt family definitely going over, though, for sure. So, the next segment on the Sky Sports version of this show was Daniel Bryan coming out, which apparently this was the opening of the show. He says, "I don't want to be the face of the WWE." He said, "If what's best for business saw me beat Randy Orton, maybe I'd be the face of the company. He says, I want to be nothing but me. He calls out Kane. Kane comes out, stands at the top of the ramp. He apologizes for his actions. He's very robotic. It'd be very corporate. How appropriate. Bryan says, you're Kane. Remember our past. Remember two grown men in the center of the ring, hugging it out? What happened to that Kane? That Kane helped make me a better person. That Kane became my friend. I was hoping you would tell what's best for business off just like I did, but simply put, you embraced it. I want you to take that cheap tie off, go get your mask out of that damn office, and get rid of the stupid corporate Kane. Kane basically just says, it's history. I traded in living in the bowels of some arena to a corporate office. We're not friends. We never were, Daniel. Why don't you come down here and we can settle this right now, Bryan retorts. Kane says, no, I'm not going to do that, but I do have a match for you if you want to fight. Tonight you'll face off against Antonio Cesaro, someone who's also going to be in the Elimination Chamber with you. Good luck, Daniel. I don't mind this, because this actually somewhat sets up a legitimate reason Bryan could lose at the Elimination Chamber. But the thing about that is, if you're going to go in that direction, and the rumors are that Bryan's going to be put into the triple threat match at WrestleMania with Batista and Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. God, that's such a redundant name. You really can't do that. So, you've set up a way to eliminate Bryan with Kane being involved. Just like you've set up a way to eliminate John Cena with the Wyatt family being involved. Almost everybody has an Achilles heel outside the ring that could potentially eliminate them. So yeah, interesting to see where we go from here. So, the next match that apparently aired on television was Ryback and Sheamus, but not this version. This version had a non-title match with AJ Lee and Nikki Bella. So yeah, this match wasn't good. Scoop slam and a whip in, charges in, and she misses. AJ with a rear naked choke on the back of Nikki. She gets back into the corner. AJ with a mule kick right to the back of the head, makes a cover, 1-2, and a kick out. Reverse neck breaker gets countered into a... This is interesting. It was a chin breaker. It was basically her head against the neck, and she dropped it down. So it was kind of like a cravat without the hook into the knee. We'll go with that. Then Nikki gets her comeback. She gets a clothesline, drop kick, whip in, backdrops AJ rather awkwardly. She goes for the rack breaker, of course, and Tamina gets on the apron. Brie gets up, pulls her off, and Brie gets ran into by AJ. AJ locks in the Black Widow in one of the best camera angles ever. And, oh my god, sorry, people don't remember that, and tap, it's over. AJ beats Nikki Bella. Just, it was kind of there. Renee Young and Titus O'Neil have a little interview segment. Basically, he just puts over the fact that Darren Young has nice hair. Titus says, I look good, I smell good, I've got a beautiful smile, and I'm not going to be carrying dead weight anymore. The only weight I'll be carrying is championship gold. Darren Young attacks, leaves him laying, and this continues. So I would say if it doesn't happen tonight on Raw, it'll happen Friday on SmackDown. We're going to have a match between the former primetime players on television. This has been happening on house shows over the weekend, but this is finally going to happen in ring. Remember how I said that Titus O'Neil could be a big monster? They're not playing him that way. As a matter of fact, I think they're playing him, the guy, the guy in the fragrance commercial that says, I'm on a horse. The guy that really, really wants to be a mixture between Idris Elba and Terry Crews. Yeah, that's what they're playing Titus O'Neil to be. They're not making him out to be a monster. They had him be a monster when he destroyed Darren Young. But now he's back to the comedic Titus, and I don't really like that. They could do a lot more with him if they actually just give it a chance to flourish, but I don't think they're going to. Even though they seem to want to push Titus, but they got to get past this feud with Darren Young first. I don't know what they're going to do with Darren Young after this. I would say he'll just move on, and Titus will move on as well. I like to see Titus feuding with Sheamus, but who knows if we'll go that direction at this point. Alberto Del Rio has a promo basically saying that Batista stole his thunder. Simple, but easy to the point. Okay. Next match. Oh god, this is fun. The MVP of the WWE himself, Daniel Bryan, taking on Antonio Cesaro. Two superstars I absolutely love in the ring. Two superstars I want to see be world champions. One has been, one will be. And let's talk about midway through the match. So Bryan with a yes kicks, goes for the buzzsaw, a duck out, and a roll up by Cesaro, 1-2 and a kick out. He goes for the armbar, setting up for the yes lock, gets countered into a tilt-a-whirl and a headbutt. Chokes on the middle rope, and leap up, Swiss uppercut, slingshot to the bottom rope, 1-2, and Bryan kicks out. Butterfly suplex, 1-2, and a kick out, goes for the chin lock, and Bryan elbows his way out, comes off the ropes, sunset flip, and Cesaro's going down, going, and he falls over, 1-2, and a kick out. Cesaro stops momentum with a double boot stomp, and 1-2, and a kick out, charges in with a Swiss uppercut, 1-2, and Bryan kicks out. So he locks on the chin lock with a knee against the side of the neck, which is really unique, by the way. He pushes him to the corner, comes off the ropes, and a big boot sends Bryan down. Charges in, low bridge, Cesaro goes over the top to the floor, and he goes for the running knee off the ring apron, and Swagger ends up taking the brunt of it. He goes down. Charges in, and he gets drop toe holded into the barricade, courtesy of Daniel Bryan. He goes up top, Bryan dives off into the Swiss uppercut, 1-2 and a kick out, double leg, going for the giant swing. Bryan grabs the ropes to stop it. Counters with an inside cradle, 1-2 and a kick out. Big clothesline, spins Bryan like a top. Goes for the Gotch style neutralizer. Countered into the yes lock, countered back in, charges in, catches the boot up. Satellite head scissors take over into the yes lock. Yes, Jimmy raves from dusk till dawn into the yes lock. Very appropriate finish, and Cesaro taps out. Kane comes out for a distraction. Cesaro attacks him from behind. Gotch style neutralizer, lays out Bryan. Kane gets in the ring, chokeslams his former partner, and that's all she wrote. So obviously, Kane has to get his comeuppance again. That has to happen. It just has to happen. I hope we're not getting Bryan and Kane at WrestleMania. I don't want to see that. I don't see that at all. But I think we blow this off on Raw before Elimination Chamber so we could get it out of the way. But then again, you can't really do that because you're building towards the fact that Kane could be a reason that Bryan gets eliminated at Elimination Chamber. But I don't think they're going that direction. I think Bryan actually has a really good chance of either winning or being the last person to lose, courtesy of Kane, if that's the case. Great match. Cesaro and Bryan know each other oh so well, and if you haven't seen them wrestle before, check out their WWE stuff. If you really want to see some of their stuff, check out the stuff that they did in Ring of Honor. They had some amazing matches in Ring of Honor, so check that stuff out. And props to WWE for bringing up Ring of Honor in a really nice interview that was done on WWE.com. Really awesome to hear from the former Ring of Honor talent like Daniel Bryan and Antonio Cesaro, and even Colt Cabana was interviewed for this, and Seth Rollins. So that was really cool to hear that. Punk was obviously not mentioned, but yeah, Punk's kind of a persona non grata right now. Well, we got our next match. Yeah, finally get Sheamus and Ryback. Yay. This match wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Sheamus with a Finley roll, and this was after you had Curtis Axel on the floor. The Nexus relocation program, of course, had to stick together. He pulled the ankle, and this allowed for Ryback to attack from behind. Sheamus sees the opportunity, slides to the floor, and Brogue kicks Axel out of his boots. So he gets back in the ring, on the ring apron. A shoulder block in the midsection, the clubbing blows, and Ryback elbow to the side of the head, drags him back over the top rope forcefully into the ring. Big spine buster on Sheamus, and a charging clothesline, high velocity whip, big scoop slam, comes off the ropes, and big splash by Ryback, 1 count only. Locks on a version of a Cobra Clutch, and Sheamus headbutts out of it. Whip in, and he nails him with the over-the-shoulder boulder holder, the backpack stunner, Skip Sheffield style. Goes up top, yells, "I'm the best big guy in the world," before he goes for a big splash, which misses. He's continuing that stuff he's doing on Twitter, which is really funny. Charges in, it's the little things. Charges in, catches the back elbow, 2 axe handles, and he charges in, shoulder block into the corner, comes off the ropes, going for the high knee, and he misses. Ryback goes for the military press. He lands on his feet, does Ryback, countered into an over-the-shoulder power slam on Ryback. Goes for the brogue kick, countered into a release powerbomb, jackknife style. 1-2, Sheamus kicks out. Charges in for the meat hook, gets brogue kicked, 1-2-3, and Sheamus wins. Not a bad match. Not a bad match, actually, given the fact. Not a bad match. Not a great match, but not a terrible match. Sheamus wins. They're talking about Sheamus and Ryback at WrestleMania. I think they should just go with Ryback getting squashed by the Warrior. I wouldn't have an issue with that. It'd be funny. So, yeah. Up next, we had Goldust taking on Bray Wyatt. Interesting. No real connection in this match. Just has to happen because obviously the Rhodes family, the Brotherhood, and the Wyatt family had... The Wyatt family won numerous non-title matches. So we get this match, which is a singles match. Bray with a nerve hold. Goldust punches his way out, whip in, and he goes to the buckle, nails the backstop elbow, and Bray goes down. Ducks the clothesline, and gets a clothesline of his own. Boot in the midsection, drop down uppercut. 5 punches in the corner, whip in, reverse, charges in, gets the boot up, and he nails the middle rope snap Rana. Ducks the clothesline, big spine buster on Bray Wyatt, and he nails the Roldy. That's what JBL called it. What a wonderful name for a move. Which is the somersault senton off the ring apron that he's been using lately. Harper and Rowan bum rush Cody, which allows for a distraction. And Goldust ends up getting planted for Sister Abigail, 1-2-3. So Bray Wyatt wins this. The Shield are on the Titantron. He says, "You're talking to the Hounds. We are the best unit in this industry. We own you. We are not afraid." Seth Rollins says, "I'm going to scrape the beards off your faces with the bottom of my boot. Now it's time for justice. Believe in the Shield." Strong promos back and forth between the Shield and the Wyatt family. I'm really going to like this story, and I really like the fact that it's happening. I just have an issue with the fact that it's being rushed so much. Given the fact that the Wyatt family will still be a unit and by the end of the year, and the Shield will not, you have to rush this so we can get this 6-man happen before both are completely gone on their own separate ways. Obviously, you have to have the 2 big stables in the company battle, since obviously one will not be around soon, and one will. And you obviously have to show the dominance of the Wyatt family without having any backpedaling from the Shield. So they're both looking strong in this, and I think it's going to be a really good match between the 2. Speaking of good matches between the 2, people that know each other oh so well, like I said, Randy Orton loses to Daniel Bryan in a tremendous, tremendous match on Raw last Monday night. Orton will be facing off against John Cena tonight on Raw. He faces off against his former partner in some of the best matches on SmackDown in the last several years. Randy Orton against Christian. This match was really good, too. These two have amazing chemistry together, and they always have really awesome matches. No idea what that is. So let's talk about them, shall we? We go midway through the match. Christian with a pescado, and Orton's out of the way. Orton tosses him back in, charges in. Christian gets the back elbow up, charges in, and Orton gets back body dropped over the top rope to the floor, goes up top, Patriot-style shoulder block, and Orton is down and out. Goes back in, and Orton rolls to the floor to stop momentum. He gets on the microphone. I'm sure this wasn't for the live audience watching. Actually, this wasn't the audience watching on television. It was the live audience. He gets on the mic. Orton complains again, says he's stuck in Des Moines because his flight's been canceled because of the weather. He says that's not a good thing. Des Moines sucks. And I gotta hand it to Randy Orton for throwing some insanely cheap heel heat in this middle of this. I like that. I had no issue with it. Whip in. Orton goes to the floor again. Christian gives chase, attacks from behind, tosses Orton back in. 2 shoulder blocks. And Orton reverses with overhand rights, and Christian with a boot in and reverse, uppercut, whip in, charges in, and this is really interesting. He charges in, he goes under the bottom rope beside Orton, sweeps the legs, and he goes to ram him crotch first into the ring post, of course. Orton uses his leg strength, lifts his legs up in the air, sending Christian face first into the ring post itself, which works really well. So he nails the backdrop suplex on the barricade like he does every single match. Toss him in 1-2, Christian kicks out. He does his modified Garvin Stomp, St. Louis uppercut in the corner, whip in, and he goes to whip in Christian again, this time a high velocity style whip. Uppercut by Christian, charges in with a drop kick by Orton with the counter, 1-2 and a kick out. Locks on the chin lock, Christian counters with a backdrop suplex, and boot in, 2 big uppercuts, 10 punch in the corner, whip in, Orton with a big clothesline, explodes out of the corner. Orton caught with a neck snap by Christian. He goes up top, flying body press, 1-2, and Orton kicks out. Middle rope, spinning back elbow, and he charges in, going for the kill switch. Gets caught with a Samoa Joe snap power slam, 1-2 and a kick out, so he tosses him shoulder first in the ring post just to be a jerk. Goes for the snake bite DDT, gets countered into a drop on the middle rope. He slingshots over, hits the uppercut, and goes up top, going for the frog splash, misses, snakebite DDT, goes for the RKO after pounding them out like an idiot, and countered into a backslide, 1-2 and a kick out, goes for the kill switch, gets countered, Christian with a back kick, goes for the 180 flying body press, countered, RKO, 1-2-3. And these two do it so well. Big win for Orton. So I'm going to guess that Orton's going to lose a lot of these matches, but he's going to win some of them as well. He's not going to lose them all. He's not going to win them all, obviously, because he lost to Bryan. He will beat Christian. What I think should happen, he loses to Cena tonight. He beats Sheamus, and he loses to Cesaro. That's what I think should happen. But I have a feeling he may just beat Cena tonight, and may beat Sheamus, and probably beat Cesaro. Yeah. Cesaro, one of the only superstars in the WWE that can go toe-to-toe with Randy Orton when it comes to European uppercuts. So, great finish to the match, actually. I've seen it before, but it was still good, and we haven't seen this match for a while, so it was alright. So, yeah, that was SmackDown. It was okay. If you had to check anything out, the opening match was okay. I say definitely check out Daniel Bryan and Tony Cesaro and the Randy Orton-Christian match. That main event of the show, so that was the show. That was SmackDown. That was short, too. So, wrestling fans, I'll join you tomorrow for Raw. Actually, we're going to, tentatively speaking, we are going to Athens in a couple hours to go see A Clockwork Orange. So, I will hopefully get the video out to you guys tomorrow after I get back from work, because I have to work tomorrow. And then, of course, I have to work Wednesday, but you guys know that. So, I think I told you that before. I'm pretty sure I did. If I didn't, sorry. But, yeah, the weather's starting to cooperate a little bit more now. We had this amazing snowstorm, and now it's kind of like, the sun's out. It's like, yay, snow's almost gone, so sweet. Hopefully soon we can get back to normal. I know it's like 5 more weeks, but still, I can hope, right? So, wrestling fans, I'll join you yet again tomorrow for Raw. We're going to be talking NXT and SmackDown next week, and not next week, but next weekend. And we're going to be talking a little TNA Impact as well, of course. The Road to Lockdown and the Road to Elimination Chamber, so that's what we're doing. As always, in the meantime, if you like these videos, tell your friends about them, leave a comment, do subscribe, and help spread the word about Pop. You can like our Facebook fan page, Sir Owen Disney Pop. You can friend me on Facebook at Owen Disney. You can send me your well wishes if you'd like, or if you just want to be my friend and keep tabs on me outside of what I film. Follow me on Twitter, it's at Sir Owen Disney. And last but certainly not least, if you want to send your thoughts, comments, queries, and opinions to myself, to any of the other podcasters, segments you want to see, anything really, just send me an email, sirowendisney@gmail.com. In the meantime, thank you guys and girls out there for watching, and until tomorrow, boys and girls, that's all I gotta say about that.